Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good day. In today's class, I'm going to talk about literature review, two styles of literature review. Of course, there are a number of ways of writing literature review in terms of giving citations. Here, I'll share two styles commonly used or found in science and technology, theses, and articles. Of course, like all my other slides as well, the examples given are wholly fictional. You will not be able to find these citations mentioned here, actually. Okay, now there are two types, as I said. The first one is writing one or two sentences, then putting citations at the end of the sentences or paragraphs. So, for example, this is the first one. A number of researchers have identified the parameters for wind energy estimation. The important parameters involved are speed, direction, and duration of the wind. For the Peninsula Malaysia, the monsoon seasons play a big role in energy assessment, comma, and then after that, it put in the bracket the citations, Musa, Lee and Lim, Nordin. So in the above example, this example that we've seen just now, it is difficult to differentiate which citation actually states which facts. There is no clear storyline. It is difficult to show the development, agreement, or contrary opinions on the subject matter. So, with all the number of sentences or words that has been mentioned, we are not sure whether Musa says the first sentence or the whole, and then Lee maybe said the second sentence, and Nordin said the third sentence, or the whole of this paragraph similarly said by all these three citations. So we go to the second example, which uses the same number of citations, but written in a slightly different manner, containing similar information. So the second way of writing is making citations as the subject or the characters in the sentence, giving them active roles in the storyline. This is like reporting what is happening in a room with the characters having an academic discussions or conversation. So it is like you are sitting in a room, and for example, here we have three citations: Musa et al., Lee and Lim, and also Nordin et al. So say these three people are sitting at a table, and they mention about what they have been doing. So Musa will explain about his things, and Lee will explain about what they're doing, what they did, and all Norden also mentioned it. So now you are reporting what they've been saying. So you say that a number of researchers have identified the parameters for wind energy estimation. According to Musa, or you heard Musa said something just now. According to Musa, the important parameters are wind speed and direction. And then you said that Lee and Lim concurred or agreed. And Lee and Lim not only agreed, but added that the duration of wind is also important. And then Nordin, okay, a third character in this story, also listed the same three parameters. So the Nordin also say the same thing, three parameters. But moreover, their study, which is Nordin's study, Nordin et al. Study for Peninsula Malaysia, shows that monsoon season play a big role in the assessment of energy. So if you read this paragraph, compare it with the previous paragraph, this one, okay, then you can see that the second method of writing is clearer. You can you can easily differentiate who says what, yeah, where each information is taken from, which citation refers to which information, because basically the information and citation need to be connected. They are together. So you cannot just write the whole things as a big paragraph, a long paragraph, and then at the end you write the citation from where you take this from. Yeah, so there is no ownership. So in the second example, it's easier to follow the storyline. The ownership of the facts are also clear. The author's own words can also be differentiated. So you can see the author of this thesis or this article. You can see where the author's words are, yeah, and because he is reporting what have been said by uh, the, 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 the characters, which are the citations. So the two accompanying photos, I mean the next slides, show another two examples of write-up using the two methods described above. You can see for yourself that the second one is better and should be adopted in your literature review. So you can see this one. You can take time to read this, and I'll explain a bit later. Okay, so I see we have read that. So in this is a version 1, which is the similar to the first method mentioned earlier. The overlap ratio is one important factor to determine the performance of the turbine, Everly et al., 2013. Experiments of seven-star wind turbine have shown significant relationship between maximum power coefficient of the turbine and the overlap ratio, Manet 2012, Han and Chong 2006, Vivarelli 2009, and Tang et al. 2011. And then the maximum power coefficient was obtained at overlap ratio between 0.2 and 0.25, Gupta et al. The studies described above were all related to wind turbines applications. In 2012, the first usage of submersible turbine for ocean current energy extraction was done, say 2012. The CFD numerical studies were carried out and the optimum performance was obtained for a two-stack four-bladed Cervantes rotor, Reza 2013 and Han and Leong 2014. The optimum overlap ratio obtained was 0.21, Reza 2013, well within the range described by Gupta et al. 2013. So you can see here, it's very difficult to see which part of the facts are taken. Take for example, you can see this line here. The studies described above were all related to wind turbines applications. In 2012, the first usage of submersible turbine for ocean current energy extraction was done, site 2012. Okay, so these two sentences, are they referring to site 2012? Or the first sentence is actually written by the author of the article, this article, the current thesis, and only this one refers to site. So which one actually refers to site? Similarly, the others, these references, the second sentence, experiments of seven-stack turbine have shown significant relationship between maximum power coefficient turbine and overlap ratio. Do they say the similar, exactly the same thing? Only one sentence here, all these people? Or they say something slightly different, which we can see in the second example. So you again, I give you half a minute to read this. Okay, so we see this one. Now you see how this write-up of the literature review is carried out using the reporting a conversation. So you see in the room there are Everly et al., Manet 2012, Han and Chan and Chong, Vivarelli, Tang, and Gupta. So they are all in the room, and they are saying about talking about their research or what their findings and so on. So now you are hearing or listening to what they're saying, and now you're reporting it. So you see, this reporting is different from the version 1. In version 2, we are reporting. First, you say, oh, that guy, Everly, concluded that overlap ratio is one important factor. So you see, that whole sentence give the ownership of that particular factor, information, which is overlap ratio is important. Who said that? Everly. And then Who agreed with him? Manet. And what did Manet do? Manet reviewed previous experiments. Which experiments? By Hanchom, Beverly, and Tang et al. So you can see the role of each one. Manet is actually the one who reviewed, and because of that, he agreed with Everly. And they have shown significant relationship. So that means all these people have shown that the relationship between maximum power coefficient of turbine and the overlap ratio. Okay, so then who followed up? Gupta followed up, further explored by Gupta, 2013, who reported a series of experiments which showed that the maximum power coefficient were obtained. Oh, that's Gupta's work. Gupta was the one who reported the series of experiments, and he found that the overlap ratio is best between 0.2 and 0.25. And then the studies described above were all related to wind turbine application. Clearly, this sentence is actually from the author of the article or the thesis. Yeah. So because after that he said that Syed pioneered the introduction of 701 for ocean current energy extraction. The CFD numerical studies were carried out and reported by Reza and Hang and Leong, and both shown. So he heard in this conversation that Reza and Hang Leong reported that the optimum performance was obtained for a two-stack four-bladed 702. The optimum overlap ratio obtained by Reza was 0.21, well within the range described by Gupta. So we can see from here that the importance of telling a story, reporting a conversation in literature review, so we can become clearer in our literature review. So that's all for this particular module, or this sets of slides for this module of literature review.